Hi, I'm Jamey from Stillmeyer Games, and today I am so excited to talk to you about our newest game, Wyrmspan. This is a sequel to Wingspan, but it's designed not by Elizabeth Hargrave, who was involved as a developer, but designed instead by apiary designer Connie Volgeman. Connie did some incredible things with this game. There are similarities to Wingspan, and today I won't talk about my favorite mechanisms in Wingspan that are also found in Wyrmspan. I'm going to do a video soon comparing the two. Rather, today I'm going to talk about my top 4 favorite mechanisms in Wyrmspan that are unique to Wyrmspan that you won't find in Wingspan. The first is that in Wyrmspan, there are dragon cards instead of bird cards. So dragons instead of birds. In this world of Wyrmspan, it's populated by like the bird equivalent in this world are dragons. They're all over the place, big and small. You would look out your window and you would see dragons flying around. They're not the big scary dragons of some medieval lore. And one of these dragon types in the game are hatchlings. So we have these baby dragons. Hatchlings all have a cost involving eggs and milk, or at least one egg token and often milk. The theme here being that you have these egg tokens in Wyrmspan. Let me see if I can find some egg tokens to show you. And these egg tokens, here are the speckled dragon eggs. So not only are you using eggs for various abilities in Wyrmspan, but you actually are hatching those eggs into hatchlings. So you have these little baby dragons, and every hatchling has a similar buildup here. It's kind of a leveling up mechanism where whenever you activate this dragon, you're allowed to cache a resource from your supply on the dragon. You're feeding the hatchling. Whenever you feed the hatchling, whenever you have to cache a resource there, the hatchling gives you a little reward. So this one says whenever you put a meat on it, you gain a gold. And then last, to show that the hatchling is all grown up, whenever you cache the third resource that they like on the dragon, there's a one-time powerful benefit. So this one gives you 2 dragon cards whenever you cache the third meat. This one gives you 2 dragon guild. I'll talk about dragon guild in a moment. But I really, really love how these hatchlings work. Not only are they adorable, the art from Clementine Campardo is really cute, but they also, I really like this leveling up system. I like that the anytime you cache benefit isn't just linked to when you activate the dragon, but also there might be other abilities that say, hey, cache a resource or cache a meat on a specific, on any dragon, and that counts as a cache there. So you get to cache it in, gain a benefit when you do that. Really nice, clean design, despite the 3 rows of text there from Connie. So those are the hatchlings. I love those. My second favorite mechanism in the game, or these are in no particular order. This is there's a lot that I love about this game. The player mat is a little bit different than in Wingspan. It looks familiar. There are these rows that you're activating. You're activating them left to right instead of right to left in Wingspan. And they represent caves. So you're finding homes for these dragons in 3 different caves. And each cave is a little unique. But you'll notice that each cave only has 1 excavated space. These spaces of the cave aren't excavated yet. And so one of the things that you'll be doing in Wingspan are excavating your player mat using a new card type, the cave. So there are these square cave cards, all of which have a when played ability. So you can see here some caves. I'll turn it the right way. There we go. So whenever you excavate these caves, you gain a unique when played ability unique to that cave. And so this feels really good. I love the when played abilities in Wingspan. They're on bird cards there, but I love having a new type of card that defines. It's a little bit of a sense of discovery. You're kind of discovering these caves as you go. The way that Connie designed it, we went through many different iterations, but the final version is that the cave cards are gained similarly to dragon cards. There's benefits here on various caves that say, like, gain a cave card. So you'll gain a cave card, you'll keep it in your hand until you're ready to put it somewhere in your cave, and then you will put it in your on your player mat somewhere. And that allows you to then place a dragon on that cave space. Again, there are 3 that are pre-excavated. So you can place dragons on your first turn without excavating anything. But if you want to go deeper into these caves, you need to first excavate them. My third favorite mechanism is actually also related to this player mat. So in Wingspan, the end of your player mat has like the strongest version of the benefit. And that is also the case in Wyrmspan. It means basically you have this little adventurer meeple in Wyrmspan that you can advance deep into the cave if you have excavated it and populated it with dragons. So the number of benefits that you're getting escalate the deeper into the cave you have populated. But we wanted something, wanted to just feel particularly special at the end of the cave once you completed a full row. And so we do this in two different ways. One is when you play a cave card, when you excavate the last section of a row, you have to go left to right with a cave card. That's this little icon. You can pay. So one time, whenever you do this, you can pay 3 resources. So you can choose the resources that you want. It can be any resource. It could be dragon cards. It could be cave cards, any combination of those, or just all of one type. And you get an extra coin. Coins in Wyrmspan are the equivalent of action tokens in Wingspan. They're a little bit different, but they're very similar. It's essentially you're gaining an extra action. So in Wingspan, you always have the same number of actions as all the other players each round. But this is a way to get an extra action if you pay for it. So that feels really good to excavate that final row. And then at the very, very end of the track, there's a new special benefit that's purely related to gaining points and getting rid of stuff that doesn't give you points. So up here, we have a way to cash extra resources from your supply. Those are worth points at the end of the game. You can tuck cards, dragon cards that you're not using. You can tuck them. Cards are worth points. And you can also discard cave cards to lay eggs. Eggs are also worth points. So I like that if you focus on a certain cave and get to the very end, then you have a really powerful ability that you can potentially use multiple times to get a bunch of points for end game scoring. That's my third favorite mechanism in Wyrmspan. One more, and that is the Dragon Guild. So you have this big Dragon Guild mat. It's not that big, but a board that goes on the middle of the table. This board is always the same, and whenever you gain a Dragon Guild benefit, like we showed that on the Savannah Hatchling here. There's two Dragon Guild movements. Whenever you advance on this track, you gain the benefit. So if you gain 1 Dragon Guild, you can move your token here and gain an egg, then a meat. If you gain multiple in the same turn, you gain each benefit. So if I gained on that Dragon, if I gained two Dragon Guild benefits, I would move my token twice and I would gain both of those benefits. This board is always the same. Whenever your Dragon Guild token reaches this space or this space, so halfway through this track, you get a special benefit. And that depends on the Dragon Guild for that game. So there are 4 different Dragon Guilds. They're here. I'm struggling to pick them up. But 4 different Dragon Guilds. At the beginning of the game, you choose one. You choose the side based on player count. And you put it right in the middle there. And what this is saying, here's an example. This is the Rainforest Guild, is that whenever you reach this space or this space, and we have a 4 to 5 player game here, you take a little cube, one of your cubes. You have 4 of these cubes for this purpose, and you put it somewhere on this mat. And it either gives you, well, it usually gives you a powerful one-time benefit, or it gives you some end game points depending on where you put it. And these spaces are limited. There are only 2 of them here for a 4 to 5 player game. So if you really want this benefit, you need to grab it before another player does. And it's cyclical. You keep going around this track. So you're gaining benefits as you go, these one-time benefits. But whenever you reach these spaces, you get to take another cube and put it on this mat. It feels really good. I love how Connie designed each of these to feel unique, making each game feel a little bit different whenever you play Wyrmspan. And it just works really well. It feels really good to move around this dragon track. Like, it doesn't just feel like you are going in circles, even though you are literally going in circles, because you're gaining every time you reach here. You kind of want to go one step further, a little bit further, so that you can activate these powerful benefits. Those are my top 4 favorite mechanisms in Wyrmspan that are different than Wingspan. Again, I would say that those are in addition to the things that I love about Wingspan that are also found in this game. I look forward to talking about it more, but for now, those are the 4 things that I'll discuss. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have in the comments. Thanks.